Hello! Right, yeah,
We thought you were alone.
Oh, let's listen to this.
We believed the universe was ours until one night in 2063, on an Earth colony 16 light years away, they struck. Now we're at war. My name is Lieutenant Colonel T.C. McQueen. I'm in vitro, a race of artificially gestated humans. I command the Marine Corps Squadron. 58. They call us the Wild Cards. We fight when called.
I've been waiting to do this review for such a long time of probably one of the greatest TV series ever made, and they cancelled it.
All of us must rise to the call, above and beyond.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely spectacular. Wow. Hang on, I've got to do this. Chicks. Take the safety off, put the magazine in, load it up, press that down. Yes. Okay, chick. Do you know what I mean? Brilliant. Right. Let's get into this. One of the best TV series ever made in my lifetime, and they only made one bloody fucking season of it, which really annoyed me. Space Above and Beyond. Yes, and I like this on Blu-ray, so if you're out there, which TV is it? Fox? I think it's Fox, 20th Century Fox. Well, you know, I want this on Blu-ray with loads of extras, documentaries, all of it, and we'll go into that in a minute. Right, this was a gem from the 90s. What happened? I remember seeing trailer back in early 90s, and I didn't have Sky at the time. I was getting Sky, just moved, and I'd ordered Sky, and a friend of mine taped the pilot episode, and he brought it round and watched it, and my God, I was hooked. I was completely hooked. So anyway, a couple of weeks later I got Sky, and you know, they showed it, and I were at the edge of my teeth. Then obviously I moved to London not long after that, and then I didn't see it, and then I were in Blockbuster and I saw the pilot episode on video, and I rented it several times, and I did buy an ex-rental copy. And then one night, this is when I was going to the Star Trek bar in London, and on Friday nights the BBC started showing it, didn't they? 2 episodes a week. So when I come in from pub hammered, right, at the time, I used to have a big kebab, and like the person I was seeing at the time, she wasn't into it, but she knew I'd be sat in front of that telly for 2 episodes, you know. And I started recording the whole series, and I finally got to ends, you know. Wow, what a ride. Well, let's start with the history. 2068, 2168, something like that. Is it? What year is it set? It's 158, 2063. 150 years of deep space exploration. People of Earth feel certain they are alone in the universe, and then word comes that 2 Earth outposts, light years away from home, have been brutally destroyed. Now, in pilot episode, you sort of start dropping into the characters like Nathan West, Hawks, Kristen Cloak's character. You know, I forgot what she's called now. Oh God. Well, there's a character in Dan Foose and rest of them. Well, you get sort of like flashbacks into their lives. Like you find out Hawks is a tank. You know, that means that in vitro, the artificially inseminated, artificially created humans created to fight the silicates in the AI wars. You've got Nathan, he's in love, he's got a soulmate, he loves her so much, and they're meant to be going to Telos or Vesta or wherever, and he gets pulled off the mission because they've got to put tanks on for equality rights. I mean, this programme goes into everything. You haven't seen this, guys. This is one thing, it has everything in it, right? So what happens then, right? He gets pulled off the mission, and then we jump to Hawks, right? And he's on the run, and some people are going to beat him up because there's a tank. They're called nipple necks. They have a thing where they, you know, like the umbilical cords connected to them when they're growing in tanks. They're born at 18. And then you jump on to Kristen Cloak's character, and who didn't fancy Kristen Cloak? She married Morgan Wong, I think, one of the directors. She, you know, one of the creators at Studio series. And she was marvellous, we all loved her. And then we got into Dan Foose and all the other characters that came into it, and T.C. McQueen, so was it Tyrone Cassius McQueen? And he was in the Angry Angels. Well, anyway, they all meet up at the Marine Corps and start, and they've got that sergeant in from, you know, Full Metal Jacket, and he's brilliant, you know. And yeah, and these people become your friends, right? They become your mates. You're like with them on missions. And these colonies get attacked, and and it all comes out on Earth that there's another race out there, you know, that have attacked these two colonies and wiped out the survivors and took prisoners. And well, Earth, it gets ready for war, you know. There's a great speech by the world president, because UN sort of runs the world, but militaries are run separate. It's all a bit, but it's really political. It's like the UN sort of takes care of the world, and countries are still countries, but they all work with UN. There's world peace. But the human race is the human race. I mean, people driving around in cars and things, obviously technology, it's like Battlestar Galactica, imagine that level of technology and life today, but more advanced. But you've still got human problems like drugs and gambling, you know, all the human race, it might have advanced, but it's still the same. But it, you know, it's not perfect, and that's what you love about this series. So we're getting to... obviously, they go to Mars and they find a Chig fighter craft, because the Chigs are planning a big invasion, and they're going to destroy the human race. And the humans have been losing every single engagement with the Chigs. And there's a plan to sort of dominate one of the asteroid belts in the solar system. Well, these guys, they get called up and they go to Saratoga, and... they get their new commander, which is T.C. McQueen. And I've got to admit, if you want a commander out there of a starship or a fighter, this guy kicks ass. And the actor that plays him is amazing, right? I'm going to go into it because I'm so excited just to be able to talk about it. Hang on, let's put the music back on. Right, so that's finished. The music, everything about this series is just fucking rocks, right? Right, I'm sorry, Kristen Cloak, there she is, lovely, isn't she? Okay, we're going out with Gillian Anderson. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, and I'm sorry, I'm being silly. Right, so anyway, there's a big battle in the solar system, and they go, there's a plan to do enemy and false information, you know, and all that. But it goes wrong. The Chigs turn up unexpected or from somewhere else. But the wildcards go in, they disobey orders. Orcs does it, and they go in and they stop this big invasion, and the Chigs have to pull out. They get back. Now it comes out that the Chigs they become heroes, and then they get T.C. McQueen's he's their new commander and all this, and because he can't fly, we're in Angry Angels. But they got wiped out in pilot episode. He survived because it's all new. I mean, they've got a military, but they've never fought an alien race before. You know, we're just expanding out. We're in the solar system now. We're moving out, and they don't have FTL drive. We navigate wormholes. Now the Chigs are technologically more advanced than us by a decade or so, and they've got a minor FTL. They can do it, but only over distances, apparently. It's what I'm reading on Wikipedia and other stuff about the Chigs. And they have anti-gravity tanks and plasma weapons. Well, we've got Battlestar Galactica level technology, but we get through space via wormholes, you see, because obviously they've worked out that it's wormholes get you all over the place. But the Chigs, I will remind you, the Chigs do use wormholes most of the time, but I think they can do short jumps so they can attack unexpected. Now the Chigs thing in their arrogance, they always attack en masse, and whereas the humans were losing the big engagement, so we resorted to special forces tactics and guerrilla and sneak attacks and all this, and we started actually fucking up the Chigs, and we don't know that much about them. right? We don't know now. When we bury our dead, they turn up and they undig the. They've got a fear of dead bodies rising up. So when we bury our dead, the chicks come and dismember the dead bodies because they have this fear about zombie soldiers, which is sort of interesting. And each episode goes into like the thing, and they use some classic war stories of actual events. I mean, there's one episode like with Roundhammer, one of the big like the final assault, because I mean they get to the Chig homeworld, the Chig star system, and they're gonna move in and invade the place, you know. And I'll go again. I'm jumping ahead. Like honestly, I watch this once a year, and I get so excited about it. So like. We get into this like whole thing that of Roundhammer. I'm doing it again. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just honest. When I think about this program, I get really into it. Well, like the whole battle with them. That each episode, there's one episode where they put false documents on a dead body who were a criminal, and they crash it. So remember that what they did with Germans during war, where they had that officer who had false plans of D-Day, you know, and all that. When the Allies invaded Europe, it were well, they did that like where the Germans' intelligence found the false information. Well, they did that with Chigs, and you know they're using stories like this. But then we go into character arcs like Hawks. He's a fascinating. He's like Hawks. I love his character. He's like a child, right? He's quite naive on certain things, even though he is a warrior, and. That they get addicted to drugs called Dreamers or something, like because this gambling place turns up, the 58 Wildcards get a pass, and he gets addicted to Dreamers and all this. And you find out about T.C. McQueen because their commanding officer is a tank, right, and or a nipple neck, and he gets the entire fighter squadron who with the 58 getting through his addiction. Then there's West when they get to Planet where. It was attacked where his soulmate, his girlfriend, was taken. He nicks a hammerhead fighter and goes off there to find survivors and all this. I mean, everybody's got a story. I mean, with Shane Vanson, that's it. Her family got murdered by the AIs, and they're insane when you get a load of them. So there's a lot going on with the episodes, and I will delve into just one or two episodes in a minute. But back on Earth, there's a whole conspiracy. Well, all this is going on with this alien thing and the Chigs and all that. There's a conspiracy on Earth. There's a corporation called Aerotech. Landed a probe on the Chigs' sacred moon where they're all born there, some religious thing to it. And they sent a transmission saying, stay away and destroy the probe. And then it
can't connect to the public Wi-Fi network.
Hang on, it's Alexa.
You need to update your connection.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna
Take a look at the help section in your Alexa.
Yes, I'm gonna sort it out. I've got a new internet. I haven't sorted it out yet. Alexa, you know. Anyway, so what happened?
I can't connect. To the
what is
Wi-Fi
going on?
network.
I'm trying to make a bloody video.
Take a look at the help section in your Alexa.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna sort it out in a minute, right? Anyway, back to that. So, like, there's the old sort of thing, the conspiracy with the Aerotech Corporation and the UN. And in one episode, they're going to vote in a world president, and there's like 2-3 candidates. This blind woman has got this thing on, like sonar detector thing that enables to see your radar glasses or whatever. And there's a big conspiracy about this one guy who you think couldn't be decent, but he's decent, and you think he's decent, indecent, she becomes leader of Earth or whatever. And there's a massive conspiracy between corporation and UN because they knew they were there, and they've known for a while that they were there, and it's making you wonder, did they kick off this war to get a look at these aliens and their technology, you know, the corporation and certain members of Earth government, which, you know, obviously it was too much for them to handle. But there is that question, what is this full conspiracy? And you start delving into it over episodes that 58 sort of come into it. And assassination attempts, all kinds of corporate baddiesism and conspiracies going on. This is just on one level, right? And then we get to the AIs, right? Now, they're crazy, they're weird looking, but they're obsessed with like chance and gambling. They're called the AIs. And they're awesome. They make these weird noises. You know, they're like these noises, right? And they're sort of like going along with it. They're like killing you. There were a war on Earth with AIs, so they got the tanks in the soldiers, but apparently there's a lot of issues about that. And the AIs fled. They led a war of terrorism, and they fled into deep space because their creator put into their program, he let loose this thing about take a chance, and that became their fundamental core of their sort of drive of what they are. And where one downloads something, all the others are same as that pick it up. Because what they capture Wang, I like Wang's character. He's like Garrett Wang off Voyager. You know, he's like that type of character, like Harry Kim. He's a nice guy, and you really get with him, and he goes out an hero at the end, right? And they interrogate him, break him, and he gets blackmailed on this mission because they find he's in love with his other AI girlfriend. They need a power pack to save her or something. But he said he'll delete the record, so Wang betrays them, and he don't mean to, but they all sort of help him, and you know they get over. But there's a lot of powerful stuff in this, especially like with the tanks as well. A lot of politics about human rights, freedom, and the politics that go with it. Because the human race, I mean, there's been like creating AIs to serve its needs, now tanks, and then it's all gone wrong and they've had to give them the freedom. I mean, you know, but again, that's what sort of technology and science where it's gone in this world. And then we get into the human military, which is fascinating stuff. We've got these massive Saratoga class sort of starships that are fighter, you know, like Galacticas, you know. And they're incredible. They set on the Saratoga, and it's got squads of Hammerhead fighters and the other space vehicles. You know, there's one where it drops the cabin. It's like an Eagle off Space 1999. Do you know what, like personnel carrier? I forgot the name for it, but it's that's used a lot on its arms at safe and the Saratoga. But we're using machine guns, all that latest technology, missiles. I mean, the engagements between the fleets are pretty cool. Now, while all this is going on, right, we get to the Chigs. Now, the Chigs have made an alliance with the AIs. And the Chigs are really weird because, like I was saying about them dismembering bodies, there's loads of stuff we don't know about them. And we do get to see them at the end, because when you capture them and you're going to take their helmet off, they blow themselves up inside their own body, so we never get to see them. And the methane breathers, and they are ruthless as an enemy. They go in there and they kill, right? They're just as bad as what we are. Now, the question is, are the Chigs baddies, really? I don't agree with Worf. I don't agree with War at all. But, you know, in this series, there's so much going on. The politics, the conspiracy, the story, everything that goes in this series is so deep and so connected that the Chigs are this big mystery. Every week you want to know more about them. And they are ruthless, right? I mean, they're bloodthirsty monsters. But yet again, you know, we land on their territory? Well, then Moon's Testa and Velas, the two, Vesta and the other place, was that their worlds? Because if it was, then we were wrong. I mean, I don't know. You've got to, this gives you all this to think on. So there is only, I'm going to give this series 99%. I have to do the 1% on one thing which annoys everybody about this classic series of Space Above and Beyond, right, is that at the end, we get into Operation Round, am I right? And they land the forces on the planet, on the sacred moon where all Chigs are born, right? And they're on a recon and they meet a Chig, because there's alien running about, but they don't know it's a Chig, they just think it's a primitive life form. And so they tell it, look, there's millions of us, they're going to invade this fucking moon, level the place, and it's a Chig, right? So just the end of that episode, when they go back to ship, they don't know, the 58th don't know it was a Chig, right? there's a message from the chick saying, look, we'd like to talk about not about a ceasefire, and they can't believe it, all military and all this, because there's basically surrounded Star System. They're going in, you know, they're going to invade the Chig homeworld, and the moon, and the Chig ambassador turns up and takes its helmet off, and it's the same fucking alien that was on the planet. And they got finishes right on that score, end of episode, right? And then next week comes, you know, but look, I saw these 2 episodes in one night, right? Start negotiations. So a lot of the conspiracy does come to head. There's still like you've got the board of, you've got director of Aerotech, the Earth military, UN officials, all this, and there's a big debate, and it all goes to shit because them creepy guy owns Aerotech, he's lying and saying, and Chig's telling him, look, you landed on our moon, we told you to leave, we didn't want to know you, leave us alone, but you kept insisting, and then you caused this war. So did we cause the war, you know, after Chig's warned him? And then anyway, the revelation comes, doesn't it? The revelation comes, right? We all came from the same bloody comet that created life, right? That's what comes out. That's what comes out, you know. And that annoyed everybody. I'm sorry for spoilers because most people have seen this. I'm just talking about how I feel about this series. And that annoyed me. That really annoyed me. And obviously, Chig that blows up, kills all main officers and all this, right? And in this big conference that and the war kicks off again. But 58 for on back. Wang goes down like a hero when armoured space personnel carrier escapes, and a lot of 58 some crash on a planet. There's like a situation they're not prepared for, it all just kicks off. But Wang, because to get the survivors from one of the colonies back to Saratoga, Wang sacrifices himself, and he's on a machine gun going, yeah, you know, like that machine gun, going, come on, like that, and it's all going off, and he gets killed, and you're gutted, and it finishes, you know. So that's it. I mean, some cast get killed off at end of first season. We lose 1 or 2 characters, and they're all in predicament situations, right? And that's it. And it finished on that note. It did leave it open where, you know, there was going to be a season 2. Summer season 2 was actually written for this, where it was going to go, and it would have been interesting to get into season 2 because there would have been new cast members, the conspiracy would have got bigger, we'd have got to know a lot more about the Chigs, and maybe beyond the Chigs there might have been other alien races, you know, where they would have expanded into a much bigger thing. Would we have made peace and start an exploration thing with the Chig? I don't know. It was sort of interesting. This could have gone anywhere, you know, space above and beyond. A lot of it said it's based on World War II. Some of the stories, you know, with the Saratoga and all this, and that's what's beautiful about it. But firstly, the ships, the Hammerhead fighters are incredible. The technology. I mean, this is true. I know it's taken like from Aliens, the Colonial Marines, you've got Space Marines and all this, but this, to me, as a series, has its own identity, and this is a masterpiece of television, and it was so worthy of a season 2, and this should have gone further. It was popular, but again, you know, it cancelled because it wasn't getting the ratings, but over years people love this. Everybody I've met, they all say to you, do you remember Space Above and Beyond? And they have this DVD box set. I mean, there's so much more. I've only just touched the interim of this series. I do recommend you should buy this, guys. It is on YouTube. The whole series is on YouTube. It's a bit grainy because I think it's been loaded up from VHS, or the upload. It's not that clear. So you want to watch this in quality, it's that. Now, guys, the Hammerhead, the space scenes, it were first time CGI. It's a bit dated, I admit that. But you don't, if you're into something, it's like watching Blake 7. If it's great story writing and it's intense acting and things, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? These people take you on a journey. They are your friends. By halfway through this series, these people are your mates. And that's what I love about this. You've seen it through their eyes. Space Above and Beyond is one of the best science fiction series ever made, except that 1% in the final episode when we all came from the same place. They should not have done that, But obviously, I think they rushed it because they got told it was cancelled and they had to sort of finish it. The acting, all of it, was fantastic. And I love Kristen Clark, who didn't, you know. What a shame. And yeah, I think it's, yeah, I'm one of the greatest series ever made. And that's it. And that's my review. I'm sorry I've gone on about a lot of rubbish for like 15-20 minutes, but every time I get this out, guys, I really get excited about it. I think it truly is one of the greatest TV series ever made. Guys, have a great weekend. You know, peace out, and thanks for watching and subscribing. I will be on Sunday doing a live show, definitely this week. It will be part 2 of what should be brought back as a TV show. At 7 o'clock Sunday night, I will be there, guys. Honestly. Right, guys, have a great week. I've got a book review coming up after this video. Yeah, I don't do a lot of book reviews, but I have to do this because you're going to find it interesting. Right, speak soon, guys.